So the 2018 playoff predictions, wild card, right? We got the Bills versus the Jags, the Titans versus Kansas City, Falcons versus Rams in NFC, and then Panthers versus the Saints. First things first, let's start off in the AFC because I like that division better. You'll find out why later. So we got the Bills and the Jags. Bills and the Jags. Let me just explain this to you. The Bills are not ready for the playoffs. Not halfway ready, not all the way ready, not even a bit ready at all. First of all, they got a quarterback that can barely throw down the field, which I'm not hating on him. The dude is he's a decent quarterback if you want a decent team. The Bills are a decent team. Playoff team, no. I would rather see the Ravens in, but that didn't happen. So we got the Bills. The best player on their team is the running back. He's not even playing. He's hurt. So let's jump to the Jags. You already know who I'm taking out of the Jags and the Bills, and they're playing in Jacksonville. I'm taking the Jags. Why? Because their defense is solid. The running back is pretty good. I don't really trust Blake Bortles, but when you're playing the Bills, I mean, you don't even have to be a great quarterback. You can just be, like I said, decent. Like, I feel like Blake Bortles and Tyrod Taylor are both just decent quarterbacks. They're just that. They're not star caliber type quarterbacks. Anyways, so staying in the AFC, we have the Titans versus Kansas City. Now, the thing with Kansas City is they're unpredictable. They're either really, really good or they're horribly bad, right? So which Kansas City team are we going to get in the playoffs? Their last game, they did okay. I'm talking about their last game they played with their starters. They did pretty decent, but we don't know which team we're going to get. You have a good running back, a good receiving core, and a good quarterback who's Alex Smith is playing, man, like a Hall of Famer this year, like an MVP this year. So, I mean, you have that to kind of lean on, and you have a decent running game with a decent defense. Playing in Kansas City is kind of hard to go against the Chiefs, but let's just check out the Titans. I mean, the Titans, they have solid defense. They're going to get good effort from their defense. They also got Mariota, who is a high-caliber young quarterback. I'm not going to say he's a high-caliber quarterback in the NFL. I'm going to say he's a high-caliber young quarterback. So quarterbacks 25 and under, you got to put Mariota in that stature. He's a high-caliber quarterback in that sense. Now, with their running game, DeMarco Murray has MCL problems right now. That's a ligament in your knee. So, like, that can be detrimental. He says he's going to play. Everybody is saying he's going to play. Just how much is he going to play will be the issue. I think with DeMarco Murray, they can beat Kansas City. I feel like if DeMarco Murray is limited and Derrick Henry, which is another good, decent running back, if Derrick Henry has to do most of the load, I don't see them beating Kansas City at home without DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray's been in the playoffs before with Dallas. He's had, big moments in the playoffs. He's had some playoff experience, and I feel like that's what's going to propel any team in this year's playoffs is experience. I feel like you need experience to win on. So that's the AFC wild card. Let's move over to the NFC. Now the NFC gets a little bit tricky. The AFC, like we know we're going to get big names and big plays, but the NFC is a little bit tricky because you have a whole lot of new cats. Let's just start off with the Rams. The freaking Rams. Who would have thought the Rams would be this good this season with a brand new coach, a running back that was iffy last year, and a quarterback that we didn't think could do the things that he has done this season, and he proved most of us wrong. Some of us probably thought he could do this. Me, on one hand, I did not think this quarterback with this team could lead these guys to the wild card. Not even a playoff appearance, man. So they totally surprised me. The Falcons, man, they're not what they were last year. Now, again, they're in the playoffs now, so it's a different type of ball game in the playoffs. But I think going to LA and playing the LA Rams in LA at the Coliseum, I think Gurley will have a big game, and I think that's going to propel them to winning and beating the Falcons and moving on. Falcons, better luck next year. You guys made it to the Super Bowl last year. Freaking blew it. You had the best chance to win ever. You blew it. I think you will get that chance again because your team is stacked, but it's going to take some time. So to the last wild card game, and I saved this one for last because I think this is the best matchup we will get. I think this will be a very, very, very close game. This one right here. The other games kind of might swing there, swing here. Might be blowouts, but I think this one will be very, very close. I mean, field goal, last 5 seconds type close. We got the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. That boy, superhero Cam, is back in the playoffs, man. You gotta just give it up to both teams. I like the Saints' run game. I like both teams' defense. I like Carolina's defense a little bit more because of Luke Kuechly and both of those linebackers in the middle. They just bring a whole lot. Kuechly and Thomas just bring a whole lot to that team, defensive-wise that they need, leadership-wise that they need. Newton, he's playing with that type of swag again. He was playing a couple years ago when he won MVP. Now, with that being said, can he propel his team past the wild card in the Superdome? That's very, very tough. It's very, very hard to win in the Superdome, especially with Drew Brees playing some of his best football this year. Drew Brees doesn't have to make those magical downfield plays anymore. They have a run game. I mean a run game. 2 of the best running backs in the league, shall I say. Kamara, who is a rookie. Who would have thought? And then you got Ingram, who is a seasoned vet who can really get down there and get some really, really good yards and some touchdowns. I think it'll be hard to stop those two for the Carolina, but Carolina does have 2 good linebackers, like I mentioned earlier, so it would be good to see the matchup between Kuechly and Thomas versus Kamara and Ingram. That would be a real good matchup to watch out on. Who do I got winning through? A lot of people is going to be surprised when I say this, but I have to say it. I got the Carolina Panthers moving on. Yes, the first upset of the day that I have. The reason why, I just think that Cam will be too much. His legs will be too much. His arm will be too much. They have a versatile back in Christian McCaffrey. I think that'll be too much. It's just going to be too much for the Saints to handle. And I just think, with that being said, you gotta wish for a good game. But I think at the last minute, Carolina will win with a field goal. I think it'll be very close. I'm talking like 28-31. I think it'll be kind of high scoring like that because both of the teams can put up points. Man, and that is my prediction. I'll be back next week, same place, same time, to talk about the divisional rounds. Okay, it's going to really heat up in the divisional round. But let me just give you a recap of who I got winning in the AFC wildcard game first. Bills versus Jags. I got the Jags winning. Staying in the AFC, Titans versus Kansas City. I got Kansas City winning, but don't be surprised if the Titans take it. But Kansas City probably is going to hold through because they got a veteran quarterback, a nice rookie running back, and their receiving core is one of the best in the game right now. Atlanta versus the LA Rams, like, who's going to stop Todd Gurley? That should be the question to everybody when they look at this game. Who's going to stop Todd Gurley? The dude's been beasting the last couple of weeks. I don't think he'll slow down none in the playoffs. I actually think he'll get 30-plus touches of the football and probably score 3 touchdowns. That's what I'm predicting. And if I'm right, I will brag about it next week. Don't think I won't. Now, the last game, Carolina versus the Saints. I love New Orleans. New Orleans, don't get mad at me. I love being down there with y'all. Matter of fact, I was just down in New Orleans like 3 weeks ago. I love being down there. Don't get mad at me for picking Carolina over y'all. I love y'all down there. But Carolina, they're just a little bit, they just outmatch y'all just a little bit versatility-wise. Yes, y'all got a good running back and a good quarterback and some good receivers. But Carolina has one thing y'all don't, and that's a quarterback that can sprint for 60 yards and score a touchdown. That's rare, and I think he will showcase his run skills in the wild card this year, because he doesn't want to go home first round. So though that's a rundown of the day. When these games play Saturday and Sunday of this week, I'll be back next week to talk about who I think will move on to the conference rounds and who I think will ultimately be in the Super Bowl and win those two. Also, catch you next time.